Come on and wake up. Listen to your heart now. See what's going on. We can make it together.
So I didn't know why he spoke to me that way. I had no idea. I just know that I felt overwhelmed in the moment. And because I didn't need to have any more talk, I was able to go inside myself and ask myself, what just happened? Because I didn't know I was sitting with my dad. I didn't know why this thing happened, why this sudden emotion overcame my whole body as I sat there next to my boyfriend, who I know is not my father. So I sat there and I'm going inside myself and asking myself, what just happened? Why do I feel this way? And that's when I realized, oh my gosh, this reminds me of sitting in the car next to my father. And then inside my head, I said to myself, well, I know that's not my father. I know that's my boyfriend. And I know that he cares about me. And I know, I know who he is. I trust this person. And I knew that I was having a replay of an old experience. And I was able to let it go. I said to him, I understand. Because I did. Because in my mind, I just understood. All right, then I had to run in and get a newspaper from my mom. That was a thing that we stayed out late because I had forgotten to pick up a newspaper for my mom. So I ran in, picked up the newspaper, and when I came back out, I was fine. Knew that wasn't his, I trusted that wasn't his regular way of being, so I let it go and I was fine. So I came back out to the car, and when I sat in, he said to me, he said, Tia, I'm very sorry for talking to you that way. He said, I just want you to understand that I can't see very well right now, and I'm afraid that I might get in an accident. It's dark, it's raining, and I couldn't focus on you right now because I was in the midst of being concerned about being safe while we're driving. And I said, oh yeah, of course. I totally understand that. That makes so much sense, But even before I said that, I had already kind of like let it go because I had done my own work inside myself. But then I understood also what was really cool, because this is why people go to therapy, because they want to figure this stuff out about why we replay stuff with new people in our lives. So even before he said that to me, I was okay. But when he said it to me, it was like, wow, I was able to think about being however old I was, 7 years old, 8 years old, and thinking it was something wrong with me. That, oh, I know what it was. At that moment, I felt unworthy. I felt like I didn't matter enough for someone to give me the time and attention to speak with me with kindness and respect. That was the thought I was thinking about myself, that overwhelmed feeling before I went inside and took a look at it. All right, so that was a thought that came up. But after he said what he said to me, and I had already been okay with it, because I also looked at, well, I know that I'm not this person who's unworthy of people speaking to me with respect. I already know I'm an adult, and I already know I'm respectful. I know I can give that to myself and feel that for myself. But the really cool thing with what he did was that I was able to say, wow, I bet there were times when my father, who had 5 kids, felt pressure, felt like he wasn't up to the task of taking care of us, of feeding us, of clothing us, of being a good father, of being a good person, and that there were just times when he just needed to focus on his own stuff, but he had 5 kids who were wanting his attention and wanting things from him, and there were times when he was just like, ah! And in those times, being a little kid, I made up that there's something wrong with me, that I'm not worthy of being treated a certain way, that if only I was a better person, he wouldn't talk to me that way. So it was very much like a therapeutic, cathartic whole experience where I was able to not just have understanding for myself and be able to work through and give myself the love that I needed, but also have more understanding for maybe what my father might have been going through during those times, the same way my boyfriend was going through something that I didn't understand at the time. And maybe even if he did take the time, if my father took the time to explain that to me, as a child, maybe I couldn't have understood it anyway. I would have just wanted him to give me what I wanted and be nice to me all the time and all that stuff. So when I'm saying as parents and fathers and be kinder to your kids and raise the energetic environment, I'm not saying don't be human. And I'm not saying stuff all that stuff down. I'm just saying be aware that humans have these processes that we try to rectify these past stories, and we paste these old stories on new faces. So I'm saying this to you so we can give each other a little bit of a space, so we don't take it so personally, so we don't attack back. And we can ask each other, what's going on for you right now? Without saying, that's not, I didn't do that, and why are you talking to me that way, and blah, 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 right? We have a little bit more understanding that everybody's got stuff that they want to work through and get to the other side, and everybody wants to feel whole and resourceful and loved and respected and listened to, and we all want to be kind and have people be kind to us. And sometimes we just got our stuff, and sometimes our stuff comes up. So just have a little bit of space for each other. So transference is when I take my stuff and paste it on someone else's face. And countertransference is when someone does that back to me. But so really, it's all transference, right? There's no such thing really as countertransference, because I'm transferring my stuff onto you, you're transferring my stuff onto me, and that is the very chemistry that has us go, woo-hoo-hoo, I really like this one. This one's familiar. This one's going to help me work my shit out. But we don't do it consciously because it's all subconscious in there. This stuff is sitting in there waiting to be rectified, waiting to bubble up to the surface. So when it does, let's give each other a little bit of understanding. Don't call each other crazy. Don't call each other, say, hey, I never did that, and why are you treating me this way? It's because we take that stuff and we gather it all up, and instead of just saying, you just told me I'm stupid, it's a big avalanche by the time we say it, and we go, don't you ever talk to me that way. Because we've got all this stuff gathered up from the past in this big avalanche that we just plow somebody with. So have understanding for ourselves, have understanding for others, just to understand that we do this as human beings. It's not crazy. It's just that we want to be able to let go of those things that make us feel not quite whole or not quite good or not quite worthy, good enough. All that stuff, all those stories from what we made up as children. We want to take it and we want to rectify it. But it is an inside job. Each one of us has to look at our own stuff. So while you're about to blast your partner, or while your partner's blasting you, whatever it is, realize that we all have our own stuff, and we bring it up for each other, and we don't want to just escalate and go into violence. We want to work it out and de-escalate and end up feeling like I feel more powerful than I did when I was a child. Not because I had power over someone else, but just because I gave that to myself. Not because I took it from someone else, but just because I was able to have more understanding and consideration and space for myself in those moments, and understand that the negative things I may have made up about myself because I had no understanding, I can now have understanding and let go of those negative things, and then fill those holes inside myself so I don't need those addictive substances in order to feel okay with myself, which is never enough it's never getting enough of what I don't want. Okay. So that is transference, countertransference. Thank you for watching once again. If you'd like to be notified of more, hit the subscribe and the bell. And if you like these videos, hit like. And I'm Tia from Champion of Champions. And this is Keep It 100, creating an emotionally safe space while we shelter in place. Thanks for joining me.
Champion yourself and your loved ones to be champions.
Until next time.
Come on and wake up. Listen to your heart now. See what's going on.